I think this YouTube channel is like a bus. You wait forever for one to come, and then two videos come along at once. What's that all about? I had to put another video out today because it's the summer solstice, the longest day, the most amount of daylight for the entire year. And as I said in yesterday's video, tomorrow, winter's on its way because it's going to get darker a little bit each night until the clocks go back in the autumn. So as I walk on the magical dog walk up the back path to Oz, if you watched last night's video, you know exactly what I mean. It's cooled off. So these 2 days of I wouldn't say extreme, but these 2 days of very unusually warm temperatures that we've had in the UK have now dissipated somewhat. So the temperature's dropped. It's much, much nicer. It's around about 19, 20 degrees Celsius right now. Still rocking a vest, clearly, as I always do, but it's a really nice temperature. It's an ideal opportunity to bring the dog out, walk up the yellow brick road to Oz, and talk a little bit about some of the events that happened last night after I stopped recording. Boy, oh boy, did we have some fun last night. Not of the good kind. So as I walk here, there's a festival taking place in the town tonight. Some cover bands are playing, and I can hear it's about 3 miles away from here. The sound is carrying so clear I can hear it. I can hear Robin S. Show Me Love, that 90s banger, as clear as day, because the atmosphere just seems to be perfect for this sound travelling all the way across to me here on this yellow brick road. What a beautiful, beautiful start to summer we've had in the UK. Long may this continue through the rest of the summer now, even though 3 weeks of that I'm going to be overseas, which I'll tell you about in another video, because if I get back into the trajectory doing more consistent and more often videos, I'll probably record some of the videos from where I'm going, which is Tenerife for 10 days and mainland Spain for 9 nights. And I can't wait, because we all need that break in the sun. Well, these temperatures that we've had today. So last night, as I was walking up the yellow brick road here towards Oz, the tall ships, the pub, let's just say it, everything was fine. I was sat enjoying a nice pint of cider when I noticed that the signal on my phone had dropped, so I wasn't able to do what I was doing at the time, which I think I was on YouTube looking at some other subscribers who I quite like, looking at his latest video, but then it just dropped off, so I just assumed I was in a bit of a network black spot. It's only after about another 10 minutes I actually realised that all the power had gone in the entire area. So the pub was in the dark, Sainsbury's, the supermarket next door, was in the full darkness, Domino's Pizza was in the dark, power had gone out everywhere. So that was the end of the night for the pubs, sadly. But then this is where the fun started. But before I get onto that, I just want to talk a little bit about how last night just felt so much like, kind of like it was the end of the world in many respects. It was just so eerie, having not a single light on in the town, just back to that complete level of darkness that it must have been in the dark ages. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Coupled that with the fact that we had no mobile cell phone reception, so we couldn't use our phones. These phones that we rely on so much for everything we do in our life just became this useless brick in our hands. And it just felt, I just felt so helpless last night. And it was very, very, very dystopian and surreal. Now, I know I'm only talking about a power outage here, but the power went out at 9:15 last night and didn't come back on till 3:15 in the morning. And in that time, something truly magical actually happened, as well as my daughter getting into a little bit of hot water, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So with all the phones out last night and no other way to communicate with people other than physical communication face to face, it made everybody speak to each other again, it was strange seeing it playing out the way it played out. It forced us it humanized us. We looked up, we stopped scrolling for once. We came out of our houses, we were stood on our driveways, and we actually communicated and we spoke to one another. We laughed, we shared stories with head torch beams, candles on. It was quite surreal in many respects. I've never seen anything quite like what played out last night. There was a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of panic, wondering what was happening. You know, is this the Russians? Was this Putin? Was this a cyber attack? This has never happened in my lifetime. Yet there's been power cuts, but we've never had a situation before where the phones have gone down. It was nice. It made me reconnect with people. Just seeing the sheer amount of people out of their houses, out on the streets at 10:30 at night last night. It was heartwarming because we were talking, we were laughing, we were making light of what could potentially be a very serious situation. Now, it turns out the reason for the power cut was the extreme heat, or the excessive heat that we had, played havoc with the overhead power lines, and it caused problems. We had a blockage of power across large parts of the northeast. So in a strange way, it was quite a memorable night last night. Driving through the town with all of the traffic signals not working was very, very unsettling. Now, why was I driving the streets? I had 1 pint of cider and then got this call, which meant that I had to stop drinking, clearly, because I was about to drive my car, and go on a magical mystery tour with my young daughter Isla, who's 15, who'd gone out to a party, who assured me she was going to be home for 10:30, got a message through to me before the power went out saying she wanted to come home. Would I go and pick her up? I then said, I've just ordered a pint of cider. As soon as I finish this cider, I'll come and get you. It's starting to thunder. I'm going to hear distant rumbles of thunder building, adding to the special ambience tonight. I just hope it doesn't start raining with it, because I've only got my vest on. I'll get absolutely drenched walking back home. The only problem with that is Isla, my daughter, never told me the address where she was. She was going to text me it, but then when all the texts and all the phones went down, she couldn't. I looked at her last known location on the Life 360 tracking app. Got my other daughter in the car, drove through the town in darkness with none of the traffic signals working to the location where her last location, which pinged. There was nobody out on the streets, so I had to just drive up to this house, sit and listen to where I could hear teenagers making a commotion. And sure enough, one house stuck out. So I knocked on the door. Luckily, some teenagers in a very inebriated position, it has to be said, came to the door and then told me that my daughter had left with the boy that she'd went to the party with. Where had she gone? This is where the plot thickens a little bit more. So the boy who she was at the party with had phoned his mum just before the power went down to come and collect them. She turned up, even though my daughter knew she was supposed to stay there so I could go and pick her up. She decided to get in the car and go off with him. Now, I knew that this boy's dad was a landlord at a pub up in the village near me here. And my daughter had been to the son's house previously, so I kind of knew where it was. But he wasn't with the dad, he was with the mum, and they were separated. So I drove to the dad's house from the party, about another 15-minute drive, to where I assumed I'd get some more information about where my daughter could have gone. This is what we have to go through when we don't have messages. This is the whole point of the conversation here. Banged on the door of this house, woke up the occupant, who was a sleeping mum with her young baby, told me that her partner, aka the landlord of the pub, was up at the pub dealing with the shutdown, dealing with the fact that all the power had gone out. I then got back in the car, drove up to the pub, to be told it was shut, obviously. Said, I know it is. I'm looking for the landlord so I can find out where his ex lives so I can go and retrieve my daughter. A few of the actual people inside the pub. One guy in particular said, how old's your daughter? And I said, well, she's 15. Oh, she's definitely going to be upstairs in the lad's bedroom. That's where you need to go and look. So anyway, the landlord told me that his ex kind of lived in this location. He wasn't 100% sure of the house number, but he knew the road and he knew the cars at the drive, obviously. So I then drove another 20 minutes to where the boy's mum lives, who'd picked my daughter up from the party. Knocked on the door. Luckily, she was up. She informed me that she dropped my daughter off at home, who'd gone into the neighbour's house because I wasn't in. I was absolutely livid, I'll tell you. What part of stay put at the party did she really not grasp here? I mean, I was mighty relieved that she'd got herself home and that she was actually at home. But when I finally pulled up on the driveway, she was extremely sheepish. And she was panicking. She was wondering what was going on. You know, from a 15-year-old's point of view, she'd never experienced anything like this. All the power's gone. Her lifeline, her mobile, her cell phone is not working. She can't speak to us. She can't ring me. I had to give her some credit and I had to give her cut some slack and not be too mean. Not as mean as I would have been had the outage not happened last night. I was just relieved that she was home in one piece. So let that be a lesson for us all. We have this reliance on mobile phones. And when we don't have them, something like that could happen. We can go on a magical mystery tour looking for the people we love. It's starting to thunder. I've reached the end of the yellow brick road. Here's my view again. What a sight to behold. The Kingdom of Oz. Well, it's actually the tall ships, the public house. As the thunder's starting to get closer now. And as if by divine magic, she goes through the gap into the beer garden. But I might have to sit inside because I think this thunderstorm is going to happen. It's just a bit delayed to what they actually told us. But then it is a beautiful coloured sky right now. We've made it to Oz. Let's go back out, get this storm. I'm just sat perfectly looking at where the storm's building. And if it starts torrentially downpouring, I'll make a beeline through the door there. It's been a really balmy 2 days. Very surreal 2 days as well with this heat. Tomorrow returns to normal, back to lower. Still quite warm, 19, 20, but not as hot and as humid and as really just mad as it's been the last 2 days. Got myself some Bulmers with ice. Thanks for watching again tonight. Kind of brings me to an interesting question. I'm wondering if with YouTube now, if I should just be doing more content like this, which is just more very authentic, me talking about daily happenings in my life. I'm not talking about putting a video out every single day, but I could certainly do 2, maybe 3 of these videos on a weekly basis. There's a YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers, and I've said this from the word go. There's a guy in America called Adam the Woo. He puts up daily videos where he just vlogs his life, half an hour, 40 minutes talking about what he's doing that day, living in Central Florida, traveling internationally. There's nothing amazing about what he does. It's just very normal, run-of-the-mill stuff. It just so happens that YouTube's his full-time career, so he has the money to invest in traveling around and showing a little bit more things on his channel that's a bit more interesting than just everyday mundane type stuff that is all I could show you living here in where I live in the UK. But I do like the style of video. There's something intrinsically warming and heartwarming and pleasing about it, and I quite like that style of content, so I can see myself heading in that direction. What do you think? If you watch this video to the end, do you think I should be concentrating on doing videos like this where you're just seeing authentic me, or should I be giving meaning? Should I be giving value? Because that's what we're told for the YouTube algorithm. Every video has to have some significant level of value to you, the viewer. I feel more at ease doing this style of video where I just talk to my camera here and show you the workings out of my mind, show you what's been going on in my life, as opposed to having to think out and overthink and over strategize every single video to appease the algorithm on YouTube, because nothing's worked so far. So why not just be happy with what I'm doing, which is this. So with that said, thanks for watching tonight. Keep wondering and keep wandering, and I'll see you on my next video, whenever that may be.